Hi, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome to Lidline Sports with my co-host, Seattle sports enthusiast, Renaud Bean. We call him Pepe.
What be up?
What be up is the Super Bowl. Finally, after 2 weeks of waiting, the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots will get it on.
Yeah.
In Houston, Texas. But before we get to that, we want to give a big shout out to Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, everybody.
Hey now.
Serena Williams is on the verge of making history. She returned to number one in the world, won the Australian Open for the seventh time, stepping ahead of Steffi Graf into second place all time with 23 Grand Slam titles, one short of Margaret Court's career record. Serena about to be the best tennis woman ever.
Well, in our minds, she probably already is, but those figures and numbers will bear it out when it's done.
Yeah, for sure, because she's got a lot of Grand Slams left in her, so I think she's going to obliterate that record.
Definitely.
To the Super Bowl, but not quite to this game. Give me your favorite Super Bowl game.
Well, my favorite is, well, of course, it's got to involve the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Oh, yeah. My favorite was the most recent win against the Arizona Cardinals. Came down to the wire, fourth quarter. They were down because Mr. Larry Fitzgerald almost broke my heart. But Ben took his team down, saw Santonio in the corner, and thank goodness he made that catch because he threw a dart to seal that victory.
Yeah, that was a great catch by Santonio Holmes and a great game.
Yeah.
Larry,
I still have his jersey, Mr. Santonio. Thank you very much.
I bet you still got a terrible towel too, don't you?
Maybe.
If you're a real Steeler fan, you got to have you a terrible towel around there somewhere.
That's right.
From the old school.
Don't mess with it either.
That's what makes it terrible. Anyway, I have a tie. Actually, both my favorite Super Bowl games involve the Broncos.
Where does that come from?
But they weren't the winner.
No. Okay.
The first one was in 1988 when Doug Williams led the Washington, well, you know what the last name is on that team. I'm not going to call it out in respect to the Native Americans. But that squad from Washington, Doug Williams, the first black quarterback in the Super Bowl, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Doug Williams led them to a 42-10 win over the Broncos. They were down 10-0 in the first quarter, and Washington stormed back as Doug just dropped dime after dime. Started off with an 80-yarder to Ricky Sanders and ended up 18 for 30 for 322 yards and 4 TDs.
It was just an onslaught after the first quarter.
Man, he had my head spinning. I jumped up, I was all in front of the TV. I remember, I'm like, I am watching this game. I don't care what's going on. The first black quarterback in the Super Bowl. Because, you know, I always say, I play quarterback at a high level.
Yes.
Franklin High School Quakers. So, I've always got some love in my heart for that black quarterback. I appreciate all QBs. But special love for the black QB.
Hey.
So my second Super Bowl was none other than my Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, what's not to like about that one?
When they blew out the Denver Broncos. So I got two black quarterbacks, Russell Wilson of late, and the first one, Doug Williams.
Well, I was actually living in Redskin country at that time. I was living.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was living in Virginia at that time, and it was heavy Redskin. Oh, well, my apologies. It was heavy Washington. You know the team.
Yeah. The Washington Foreskins.
Yeah. Well, wrong. It's the family show. But anyway, yes.
It's a family show.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on at the Family
Oh,
Hour
man.
too, right? 24/7 on the internet.
Hello, everyone. Wake up.
If you want to tell us about your favorite Super Bowl, please do make a comment on Facebook or send us an email to lidlinesports@yahoo.com. I want to talk about the story of the week. LeBron
Yes.
and Barkley. What was going on with those two dudes,
Man, you know what? This whole week has been just pure comedy with them. Chuck, Mr. Barkley, started off on TNT. He called out LeBron, said that he was being whiny and complaining about not having a playmaker. They are the defending champions. And, LeBron was looking at it, well, the Warriors made moves, to improve. Even the Spurs made a couple of moves to improve. And we basically stayed the same, So he was just basically talking about that. Chuck took it to another level and basically gave him a personal attack, which LeBron did not like and said he will not take this anymore.
Chuck acts like he didn't give him a personal attack.
He said that. He even said, and I quote, he said, all my attacks or all my criticisms have been basketball related.
Right.
But calling someone whiny, is not basketball related.
That's pretty
personal to me. So LeBron retorted back saying, he listed all of Chuck's indiscretions, throwing people through windows,
right.
Accidentally spitting on a fan, a child. What else did he? Oh, he talked about his debts in Vegas of not paying them off, things of that nature.
Talked about how he showed up for the All-Star game on Sunday. Because he was in Vegas gambling.
Yes. So, LeBron really let him and called him a hater. He said,
Oh, he is a hater.
Yes. I'm not saying he's wrong.
He's a paid hater.
Right. So, of course, Chuck retorted back, well, looks like LeBron obviously Googled me to list all that. But wait a minute. You don't have to Google him to know all that. I mean, LeBron was, old enough to remember a lot of that stuff. So, it was in the news all the time. Chuck, even, it's funny because Chuck said, what do you call that when you look up something on the internet? They had to tell him it was Google. So, man, I tell you. And, D. Wade even came in. He backed up LeBron.
Right.
Even Shannon Sharp on Undisputed said, Chuck, you've never been number one in the NBA at any time.
Yeah.
At least LeBron's been number one for 10 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, Barkley has really no room to talk. I mean, as crazy as he was as a player off the court. And,
let's give
none of the on-the-court accolades or accomplishments that LeBron had.
Well, not championship-wise, that's for sure. That's what everybody...
Not MVP-wise.
Right. That's what everybody looks to. But Chuck Barkley, we have to admit, in his own right, was a beast.
He was good, but he wasn't no LeBron.
No.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, he was good. He couldn't take his team to a championship. Whatever team LeBron gets to the championship.
Well,
they may not win.
Him and the Suns did go, but they ran into somebody and didn't finish.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is he did not finish. So I agree. We talked about on the last show about how LeBron needed to really stall that talk about wanting a playmaker and just give Kyrie the ball and allow him to be a playmaker.
Correct.
And if that happened, what adjustment would LeBron make to his game? Ironically, during the week, as I thought about it, well, LeBron, if you really want a playmaker and you're going to allow him to be a playmaker, what's your game going to be like? Charles Barkley's?
Down on the block.
Right. It would be Charles Barkley's game, right?
Absolutely.
Get the rebound, take it the full length of the court. That was Barkley's game.
That sure was.
Post up, shoot the three occasionally.
Right.
Right? That's Barkley's game. So that's the type of game he'd have to transform himself into. It's interesting. They had tryouts for a bunch of players to see if they can make the team, like
Lance
Jordan
Stevenson.
Farmar and Lance Stevenson. Those kind of guys.
Oh,
but they wouldn't give our boy Nate Robinson a tryout. Why wouldn't they give Nate a tryout?
Well, well,
I guess Nate's burned too many bridges.
he's even advocating going to the Bulls. He's gone on Instagram saying that he would love to play with Jimmy Butler and D Wade. You know, so
yeah. You know, Nate was great when he played, but right about now he's like he's like the dude that's trying to get the chick back. It's like it's time to move on, bro.
Yeah. Enjoy them chicken and waffles.
Speaking of trying to get the chick back, what's going down with Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher?
Woo! Well, Monday, Derek Fisher had his house robbed, burglarized.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He left around 7:30 in the morning, came back 10:30, and everything was all in disarray. He got jewelry missing, including 5 NBA championship rings from the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
Now,
there's a rumor out that Matt Barnes got 5 rings now.
Well, I did see that picture. I did see a picture of Matt Barnes with 5 rings and one prominent ring on a certain part of your hand, of the bird hand, you know, on his chin, kind of like, you know, hey, what's up? So, yeah, that's that story is bizarre, to say the least.
Their whole deal is bizarre.
I mean, exes and currents, and I don't know what's going on there. It's, you know, it doesn't matter if you're an athlete, you know, talented celebrity or athlete. If you got problems, you got problems. Just like everybody else.
Yeah, and then it's not a good look for either one of them.
No, it's not.
They just need to try to be cordial and work it out for the kid. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if Fisher's going to be with her, she wants to be with Fish. Matt, he needs to stall all that.
It's not like he can't get someone else.
Well, he has someone else, but you know, it's tough. I always say this. I'll be honest with you. It's never happened to me, but I'll be honest. It would be tough for me to have to go pick up my kid from another guy. That's just me. Anyway, moving on.
All right.
What's up with your boy Steven Jackson? Talking about he played high on marijuana.
Pass, brother.
He wasn't passing too many times.
Hey.
He played well, too.
He said Coach said it was all right. You know, Coach allowed it. He said, you know, Nelly.
Don Nelson.
Yeah, Nelly. He said Nelly was cool with it.
Here's the reality of it all, though, folks. Jason Williams, former Duke player, Chicago Bull, ESPN analyst now, claims that there's 75 to 80% of the players in the NBA that smoke marijuana. That's a lot.
That is a whole lot.
I believe it, though. I mean, I had a friend that played in the NBA. I've had several friends that played in the NBA, so you guys can't narrow this down. But I remember going to pick him up from the hotel room to go out one night, and he pulled a big old bag of weed. I'm like, you traveling with the team with all that weed?
Oh, man.
Full disclosure, that was 1990, I think. I was still smoking weed then, but I haven't smoked any weed since 1991, folks, so on the record.
Nice. That'd be 1983 for me.
Yeah,
I quit early.
So that was back then, so I can imagine what's going on now. Even Steve Kerr admitted that he used cannabis oil, I think it was, for his back surgery. There are medicinal properties in marijuana.
Definitely.
So it's kind of difficult now to really say marijuana is bad for you. It's the THC in marijuana that gets you high. But there's other properties in cannabis called CBD or cannabidiol, which has healing properties. It's an anti-inflammatory. It helps to relieve anxiety. So that's why doctors are now writing prescriptions for medicinal uses of marijuana. There are 23 states now that allow the medicinal use of marijuana. And here in Washington,
we have recreational and Colorado.
in Colorado.
And now what? Oregon and California joined the ranks.
I think California is medicinal. I'm not sure. But okay. I know that, yeah, California has joined, Nevada, D.C., and New York, I think.
All medicinal?
Yeah, well, I think they're all recreational now.
Okay. Well, at least we know that Colorado and Washington kicked it off.
I do know this, folks, that it has been projected that marijuana sales on the West Coast in 2017 will be $1 billion. Woo-wee. $1 billion. So look for marijuana to be legalized in every state fairly soon. All right. So lately the leagues, the NFL and the NBA, they have marijuana rules. The NBA, you can't use marijuana at all.
Right.
If you do, you're fined $25,000. Second time, you're suspended 5 games. Third time, you're suspended 10 games. NFL, they let you use marijuana. They, in their collective bargaining agreement, have raised the THC level.
Right.
So you can't be over the level of marijuana use. Right? Hockey, you can smoke as much weed as you want to.
Boy, some of these cats are in the wrong sport.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything.
Up some skates.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna say that in the other 2 sports, those guys look like me predominantly. And in the sport where you can smoke weed, they don't. I'm gonna leave it there.
Yes, yeah,
I'm just gonna leave it right there.
All righty.
So, anyway, I don't condone the use of marijuana. However, I do condone it for medicinal purposes. Just think about this, Pep. People get hooked on Oxycontin. They hand out Vicodin to players.
Yes.
They hand out Percocet to players, which are way more harmful to your body than cannabis. So as soon as more revelation gets out about it, if they're able to separate the THC from the CBD in cannabis, then it will probably be more widely acceptable for usage. We'll see how that actually goes. So we will not be getting high on Mary Jane. No time soon.
But we love her just the same. Somebody D'Angelo, didn't he sing about brown sugar? Okay. So it is affectionately loved.
Yeah. Oh, it most definitely is. In the NFL and in the NBA. Anyway, who's your favorite college basketball player? Who are the college basketball players to watch right now?
Well,
you got a top 5?
Top 5. I don't, but I could tell you that kid Monk from Kentucky. Oof.
Yeah.
And of course, you have Ball from UCLA. They got that kid from Gonzaga, Nigel Williams-Goss. I'm not saying he's a top 5, but personally, I've always liked his game. He's a cerebral player. He was actually recruited by every Ivy League school.
Yeah, he's very smart.
So he's a very smart young man, and he plays the game very well and very cerebral.
Yeah, I have a top 5. My top 5 are, and I think he's the best. Well, I'll start from the bottom and work my way up.
There you go.
Full disclosure, we were in Seattle, and Pep and I basically are like the Heisman voters. Hard for a Heisman winner to come off the West Coast because the East Coast people say they don't get a chance to watch them. But we get a chance to watch folks on the West Coast and not so much on the East Coast. So most of my favorite players to watch are on the West Coast coming out of the Pac-12, starting with Benny Boatwright.
Oh, yeah.
6'10" from USC. that dude, he's a sophomore. That boy good.
That boy good.
He's good. And then Lonzo Ball from UCLA, like you said, Pep. If you haven't seen Lonzo Ball, he is, they say, the second coming of, what's my man's name to play for the Nets?
What, Jason Kidd?
Jason Kidd, yeah. He's the second coming of Jason Kidd. He is an assist machine.
Yes.
His shot is like, if you remember Jamal Wilkes, it's kind of like Jamal Wilkes, but he kind of slings it up there. But he can really shoot it. And I had a chance to see him firsthand. We played them down at the Max Prep Holiday Classic in Palm Springs. Not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before last, Christmas of 2015. In that same tournament, I also saw Malik Monk, who you like for Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, he played for Bentonville. Just so happens that my nephew also played for Bentonville. So had a chance to watch him, and my niece was telling me that their best player was going to Kentucky, Malik Monk, and so I watched him. I'm like, that dude's okay, he's all right. But I didn't know he was all that.
Yeah, he bust out 47 last month.
Yeah, I didn't know he was all that. He's nice. And then I like Josh Jackson from Kansas.
Oh, yes.
Josh Jackson, he's also a freshman. Monk is a freshman. Ball is a freshman. They're all freshmen.
These young players, man, they're dynamite.
Yeah.
Coming out. And
Yeah.
then, you know, we got more coming next year, but
Yeah.
seriously, these guys nowadays is just uncanny how good they are.
Now, the best player in the country, my favorite player to watch, is right here in Seattle, Markelle Fultz.
Markelle Fultz, from day one, I said, well, he's already in the NBA. He's just not able to get in yet. But he's a pro. The guy plays like a pro. He's from the D.C. area, so he's an East Coast kid. He comes all the way out here. We already knew his credentials, his so, man, he's lived up to it. Unfortunately, the team, not so much.
Yeah. The team is struggling.
Mightily.
They're on polar opposites of the spectrum. He's balling and they're not.
Yeah, so guess who's one and done?
But if you get a chance to see Markelle Fultz or check ESPN or FS1 for the television lineup and see if Washington is playing, and get a look at this kid. I mean, he is so smooth.
And you know what's amazing with him? It's his meteoric rise. Because when he was a sophomore and junior in high school, he was barely getting any time. He couldn't even get on the court. Now, all of a sudden, he's like projected to be number one in the draft in June. I mean, that's wow. That's spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to the cup when he wants to.
And it's not like he's 6'10", 6'9". The kid is 6'3", 6'4", and just, man, he's got the Euro step. He's got the pull-up jump shot. He can take you all the way to the cup. He's a nightmare.
You know who he reminds me of? Brandon Roy.
Okay.
He's got that smooth, nonchalant.
Right. It's not flashy.
Yeah.
But it's just steady.
It's steady.
And just straight up.
Like
good.
Novocaine.
Right. Who hit me for 52?
He's just steady.
What was that?
Yeah, because he'll have like 8 or 9, and then next time you look, he's got like 18, and then you look again, he's got 30.
Yes.
You know, and
he can get them in bunches.
He gets them in bunches.
Yes.
And he plays a little D. He'll protect the rim for you too at his size. Yeah. He's got good.
Well,
bounce.
like I said, he's an East Coast kid. Those East Coast kids have that D mentality more so than kids out here. Yeah. Unfortunately. Because I lived back east for 30 years, and I played myself, in parks and stuff like that. And these New York and D.C. guys, they want to D up on you. They don't like they don't like you to get past them.
Yeah, well, he's the kid to watch, and he'll probably be the #1 player in the NBA draft. Man, I saw something hilarious the other day, folks. Pep, can you believe this? There's a little league in Lenox, California that was trying to raise some money for their baseball team. And guess where they got their money from?
Where?
They got $1,200 from the Jet Strip Club in Lenox.
Now, how did they pull that off?
Oh man! When I saw that, I'm like, I gotta tell you this. So, for those of you who don't know, Lenox is like a little town inside L.A. on Hawthorne Boulevard and runs through it, like right around the city of Hawthorne and Torrance and all that. And so, I used to go to the Jet Strip Club.
No way.
Okay, look, I don't go to strip clubs. I was not going to the Jet Strip Club for that. It was 1989.
Was it Taco Tuesday?
No, it was 1989, and I was living in LA. I was trying to find out where I could watch the Cleveland Browns game when Eric Metcalf played for Cleveland. And somebody told me that they had the NFL games on at the Jet Strip Club. And so,
how convenient.
And so one season, I went to the Jet Strip Club to watch the game.
Excuse me, baby, I'm trying to watch the game here.
The next year, I found where the Browns backers were and went to a sports...
you saw some brown backs.
Actually, there were no brown people in the Jet City Strip Club at that particular time. I did not see one.
Okay.
Although I was not noticing. I really was paying attention to the game as much as I could. Tough during the commercials.
Boy, those tassels tickle.
Anyway. It's all about that Super Bowl this weekend.
Yes, it is. Finally.
Finally went to the Super Bowl.
Man, that 2 weeks is torture.
Isn't that a long time?
Goose. Now, I like the, when they had that 1 week, when they tried that. I wish they'd go back to that.
Yeah, 1 week after you have 2 weeks, it seems kind of fast. I mean, the 2 weeks for me, it gives you that, you get to take that breath after the playoffs, you know what I mean?
And it gives players a chance to heal and all that.
And go do something else on a Sunday, you know what I mean? And then come back and watch the Super Bowl.
Man, I don't want to do nothing else on Sunday. I want to watch football. I will be one unhappy brother come Monday.
Well, for me, it gave me a chance to catch up on some hoops. So, anyway, this Sunday it'll be the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. The Patriots are favored by 3 points on the betting line. Mm-hmm. So, put your money down. The Patriots are going to win. 2 weeks for Bill Belichick to prepare is a long time.
It sure is. But, you know what? I like the up-and-coming Falcons. I like what I've seen the last couple of games, of course, playoff games, against the Seattle Seahawks and against the Green Bay Packers. They beat up Russell Wilson. They had him running for his life. They gave Aaron Rodgers fits, had him running around. So I think, the Falcons are saying, you know what, we're ready.
Yeah, they're starting a whole lot of rookies. Can we depend on those rookies?
Well, this time of year, they're not rookies anymore. They played, throughout the whole season, and they've got some playoff experience now. So, hey, all that's out the window. No rookies. It's all on the line now.
You think they're going to be able to hold up against arguably the greatest quarterback in history, Tom Brady?
Why not? Tom Brady, as great as he is, he's 24-9 in the playoffs. He's had 33 playoff games. He's 24-9. He's won 4 Super Bowls. He's lost 2. He should be actually 3-3, but we won't get into that. But you know what? He's going for his 5th now. But to go to your 5th Super Bowl, you got to win your first one. Tom Brady won his first one in 2001. He beat the greatest show on turf. And who was the quarterback for them, for the St. Louis Rams? Kurt Warner. So Brady is where Matt Ryan is now in terms of up and coming, and Kurt Warner is where Tom Brady is now. You know, he was the standard. So Matt Ryan, even though he's been in the league 9 years now, believe it or not, people don't realize he's been in the league since 2008. But Matt Ryan has been durable. He's only missed 2 games since he's been in the league. 2. In 2009, he missed 2 games. If you look it up, in every other season, he's played all 16 games. 2008, he was 11-5. And in 2009, he was 9-5. He was 13-3, 10-6, 13-3. So he started off well. They fell off in 2013. They ended up 4-12, and then they became in 2014. They were 6-10, and Mike Smith was let go. Dan Quinn took over last year, and they were 8-8, and now this season they're 11-5 and playing in the Super Bowl. So Matt Ryan's been around a while, but he's really ramped up his game. He's got an MVP season under his belt.
Now, how do we get from their defense to Matt Ryan? Is Matt Ryan their defense?
You know what?
I want to talk about these dudes on defense. I want to talk about Jonathan Babineau and Grady Jarrett and Tyson Jackson and their DBs, Robert Alford, Jalen Collins, and Ricardo Allen.
All right.
What are them dudes going to do? How are they going to stop Tom Brady? That's what I want to know.
Well, has anybody ever stopped Tom Brady? Really? Realistically, has anybody ever stopped him? No. And I don't expect these guys to stop him, but can they slow him? Can they slow him down enough, or can they keep the ball long enough to keep it out of Tom Brady's hands? Yeah, I think they can. With Matt Ryan, the way he's been playing offensively, yeah, the Falcons can sustain long drives.
If you guys win, you're going with Atlanta, right?
I'm going with Atlanta.
If you guys win the coin flip, you taking the ball or you putting your defense on the field first?
I want to take the ball.
Okay.
They got to take the ball first.
So you know New England has never scored in the first quarter of a Super Bowl.
I didn't know that. That's a good stat.
Yeah. They never so they can't get behind Atlanta, I don't think, because that'll change the game plan. Their game plan has to be, the Patriots, offensively, is to control the clock with a short passing game.
Well, you got guys like Edelman and now Hogan, which Atlanta should be aware of, because if they watch film, they can't let that guy get loose. That's for sure. The Falcons' D was pretty decent in the regular season. It wasn't upper tier, but it wasn't bottom of the barrel either. It was probably middle of the road. But through the playoffs, the first 2 games of the playoffs, they ramped it up. They like I said, they had Russell Wilson and the Seahawks flustered, and then the Packers, they didn't score a point in the first 2.5 quarters of that game.
Yeah,
which was surprising. Nobody, you couldn't tell me that the Packers would be shut out at halftime and halfway in the third quarter of a championship game. No way.
Yeah.
Not with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
Yeah, they made mistakes. I think that's what shut them out. If Brady doesn't make mistakes, if they're making the same kind of mistakes that the Packers made and the Seahawks made, then I have to tip my hat and say, Atlanta, this is your year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if they're making those kind of mistakes. Much has been talked about Atlanta's offense. I got to give props to their offense. Their offense is fire. I mean, you got Julio Jones. You got Devontae Jenkins.
Freeman.
Devontae Freeman.
Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, you got Mohamed Sanu. You got fire on their team, and so I'll give it to them. However, 2 weeks to prepare for the mad genius, Bill Belichick. All right? He's a cheater.
Wait, did you say Belichick?
Yeah. He's a cheater, but he's good.
He's a good cheater. Oh, okay.
He probably does not need to do the things that he's done. I mean, I'll say, yeah. Some people say that you can't call him a cheater. He's just tried to get a competitive advantage, and he got caught.
Okay.
So when you get caught, you're cheating.
Yes. You don't get caught.
You just try to get a competitive advantage.
There you go.
All right. So, but he's still one of the best football minds out there. And if they win this Super Bowl, I think it'll be number 8 for them. No, it'll be the 8th time in the Super. This is the 7th time in the Super Bowl.
Right.
7th time in the Super Bowl.
Tom
it'll
Brady's
be their
7th time. Yes.
Yeah, and it'll be
The Patriots' 8th time because they played the Bears back in '86.
Yes, there we go.
And got their doors blown off.
Right.
So yeah, but Brady. You know what? Speaking of Brady, I got to give props to him. People say, "Oh, it's the system. It's the system." Yeah, it's the system, all right. But look, he's been there since the year 2000. He's been there 16 years. So you got to give the man. He's got to be good if he's been the quarterback for 16 years. I mean, I don't care how good your system is. If you've been there for that whole time, you're the man.
Right. So you are basically saying that the Atlanta Falcons offense is going to outscore New England, basically.
Definitely.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so my
because both listen, New England's got a good defense. They're not superior by any stretch. I mean, you talk about the Bears defense and even the Seahawks defense from 2013. They're not on that level. And so if the Falcons get on a roll, I don't see it stopping.
Okay, well, I'll have to say Bill Belichick is going to be the difference maker. I'll go back to when he was the D coordinator of the New York Giants when they beat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. If you remember at that time, Buffalo had the highest scoring offense in football.
As do the Falcons right now.
Right? They were just like the Falcons. The K-Gun was supposed to be unstoppable. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They had James Lofton. They had Andre Reed, Hall of Famers.
Thurman Thomas.
Don Beebe.
Yes. Yes.
All right? They had a cast, but Belichick put together a game plan for them where he put 5 linebackers on the field and stopped them from throwing the ball underneath and punished their receivers every time they came across the middle. So I'm not saying he's going to do that again, but he could.
Well, that's a good plan.
Okay.
But there's one difference, and that's Mr. Quintorris Lopez Jones, better known as Julio. I'm going to say this. You heard it here first from me. Julio Jones is number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. I say that because I have yet to see anyone or any defense put a stop to him.
Oh, so you're agreeing with me now?
I am.
Oh, okay. We got a breakthrough.
Yeah. As much as I love Antonio Brown and
Steeler.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, he could be neutralized.
This Pepe over here giving you some fair and balanced sports.
He can be neutralized, as
right
shown last week. You got double teamed and he was ineffective.
Right.
Julio Jones gets double and triple teamed and still makes plays. So, my hat's off to the number 1 wide receiver in the league. I don't see anybody on the Patriots able to stop him. Malcolm Butler, that's your call, buddy. It's time for you. If you want to be a Pro Bowl cornerback, or if you the man, there it is.
So my thing is they'll have to be able to roll coverage to Julio Jones, and the X factor then becomes Devontae Freeman.
Yes, that was my point. Because if they focus on Julio, then they got 2 guys coming out of the backfield that can just rip them up.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting to watch, and to see if Patrick Chung and Devin McCourty, the safeties from the Patriots, will be able to curtail Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu. Because Sanu can get deep on you too.
Oh yes.
Right? And so it's an interesting game. Do you have a prediction on the score?
A very high score. Watch it be 10-6. But I've said 42-38 Falcons.
42-38.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go less than that. I'm going to go 35-28 Patriots.
Okay.
35-28 Patriots. I don't think there's going to be a field goal kicked in that game. I'll be surprised. I think that both O coordinators feel like they have to put points on the board, and so I'm looking for people going for it.
Definitely. Red zone, man. When you get in that red zone, you got to punch it in.
Or even, around the 38, 42-yard line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On your side of the field, if it's a third and short, going for it, and maybe Belichick has some trick plays up his sleeve. But I'm really...
But, Dan Quinn, let's not dismiss the coach of the Falcons.
He's a rookie.
Because here we go with that again.
It's his second-year coach.
Right. But he was the D coordinator of the Seahawks when they played the Patriots.
Okay, I give you that.
His game. Listen, Seattle in that game.
He put together a great game
plan. But they had a key injury
Denver
that hurt them in that Patriot game. When Jeremy Lane broke his arm and shattered his knee in that game, that
changed everything.
Because they had to put a guy in who hadn't been playing.
Yeah.
And, what's his name? Thurl Simon.
Yeah.
And he got destroyed by Julian Edelman.
Yeah, he did. It didn't help that they Cliff Averill either. Cliff Averill was out, so that didn't help either. So,
but there's no excuses because you know what? They still should have won the game regardless.
Yeah,
except for
that slant to Ricardo Lockett.
Yeah, you're gonna throw to your sixth best receiver. Yeah, that's real smart.
Yeah, to me, we'll never get over that play right there in Seattle.
No way.
Because we've got beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. Hand him the ball or go play action to him and throw it to the tight end in the corner of the end zone.
Yes.
One of the two with a run-pass option for Russell Wilson. That's a no-brainer to me. You got to try that.
Yep.
So he had just ran the ball down there.
Sure did.
So everybody thought he was getting the ball. So if you would have faked it to him and then rolled out and put the tight end in the corner of the end zone, you would have either walked in or just blooped it to him for a touchdown. But that's neither here nor there. What Super Bowl is this anyway?
51.
Yeah, it's hard to read the Roman numerals. It's Super Bowl LI.
51.
It's Super Bowl LI. Y'all like me trying to add up Roman numerals to see what Super Bowl it is? So for those of you who don't know why the NFL uses Roman numerals, according to the International Business Times, former NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle claimed that organizers of the first Super Bowl in 1967 started using Roman numerals to avoid confusion over the fact that the Super Bowl is the championship game of the previous year.
Right.
So the Super Bowl being played in 2017 is for the season of 2016.
That is correct. And they didn't actually start calling it the Super Bowl until 1970 when the Kansas City Chiefs played the Minnesota Vikings.
Right. How was that game? Were you there?
I was not there. Thanks for asking. But I do remember that the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Vikings, and I was actually rooting for the Vikings.
Okay.
So I was not happy.
So Super Bowl this Sunday.
Yes.
3:30 Pacific time. Lady Gaga's the halftime show. Did you see the Lady Gaga presser?
No. I don't watch the halftime show.
I said the press conference.
I heard you the first time, and I'm saying it again like Groundhog Day. I don't watch the halftime show, nor do I care who's in it.
You know they're doing way too much when they got a press conference for Lady Gaga for that Super Bowl weekend. I thought it was interesting, though. I watched it. She talked about how they had a makeshift field, and they set up everything that they were going to have stage-wise and did their rehearsal just like they were doing it inside Reliance Stadium. It was pretty interesting. I watched it for about 35 seconds. And turned the channel.
Okay.
But at least Lady Gaga can sing, though. I mean, she's not going to be like, I hope she's not like Adele. Like, I saw Adele on one of those award shows, and she was cracking like an egg. I was like, ooh, you might have chose a different song. Those high notes are not working today.
Oh.
So Lady Gaga at halftime, y'all. Let's see what she's working.
Halftime. I'll be
with.
Getting my snack on. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
so,
I'm gonna be getting my snack on all day on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm looking forward to this game. Hope y'all looking forward to it too. So what's going down in the town?
Well, back to high school. Wow. Porter. You know, you mentioned, I want to digress for a minute. You mentioned Lonzo Ball.
Right.
And you saw him last year. Your team played against him.
Right.
And now this year you played against Michael Porter Jr.
Right.
And he hit, 52.
He gave us 52.
And 23
That
more.
dude was on fire, man.
So,
dude.
What is your thoughts on the Ball brothers and the Porter brothers? I'm interested in that.
They are different players.
Right.
So there's 3 Ball brothers.
Yes.
There's Lonzo,
LiAngelo,
and
LaMelo.
LaMelo is the younger one.
Right.
All right. And LiAngelo's coming out this year going to
And
UCLA.
boy, is he coming out. He's hitting 60.
He had 70 on somebody.
Okay.
They're different and they play different.
Right.
Because what's his name? You got me confused now. Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo for UCLA.
Yeah, because Lonzo is such a great passer. He facilitates to his brothers, or he did then, right? He facilitated he just ran the whole show. Michael Porter, although he can facilitate, he's more of a scorer. Okay, so
And he's a lot bigger. He's 6'9".
He's 6'10".
6'10". Okay.
He's 6'10" with handles. So there's nothing he can't do with a basketball. He is a better player than Lonzo Ball.
Okay.
Okay. Different types of players. Both very, very good. You will see both making noise in the NBA. LiAngelo Ball, he's just a tough. I think LiAngelo Ball and Jonte Porter, Michael Porter's younger brother, he's a 11th grader right now. I think they're kind of the same. And I actually think, I haven't seen LiAngelo this year.
Okay.
I just saw the stats that he hit somebody for 70. And so I don't know how he gave him 70. Like, I can tell you how Michael Porter gave us 52. I can tell you he came out in the first quarter, hit 5 threes in a row. Okay.
Wow.
And then in the second quarter, some more threes and some intermittent dunks. I can tell you about that. So I didn't see LiAngelo get 70 on whoever, but I saw Michael Porter do that. But Jonte Porter, when Michael Porter leaves, if he stays, there's a rumor saying that he's going to graduate early because he's homeschooled and he's going to roll in the UW, University of Washington, with his brothers so they can play together. I don't believe that's going to happen. But my prediction is once Michael leaves and it becomes Jonte's team, he might hit 70.
Ooh.
On somebody.
Wow.
That dude.
And I also have a younger brother.
Corbin.
Okay.
He's a 9th grader. He gets no tick. He's not like
he gets no sneaker squeak.
No, LaMelo Ball, he started
Right.
as a freshman.
Right.
Great 3-point shooter. Matter of fact, if you're a sports fan, you may have seen on some of the, I think it was on Ball is Life, where he points at the half-court line and then shoots it from half-court, and it's just wet. Like,
yes.
plop! through the net.
Crazy.
Right? He's a flat out shooter. He can just. So while he was a freshman, or when he was a freshman, he just spotted up and shot threes. He's got more to his game than that.
Right.
I've not seen Corbin Porter play.
Okay.
So he's just, on the end of the bench with golden tweezers right now. He's not
golden tweezers, he said.
But I understand that he's really good, or going to be really good, and I would imagine that he would be. But Jonte Porter, I'm saying next year, if he stays in high school, he's a load. That dude is 6'10".
He's 6'10" as well?
Yes, he's bigger, thicker than Michael. Has handles, can shoot the three. That dude, right now, he's just deferring to his big brother.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's because it's big brother's time.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to rebound, kick the ball back out to you. You know what I mean? He's kind of deferring to him. But if he ever decided to say, okay, I'm going to go get mine, he can get his.
Okay.
So at first I was like, he's okay, because when I watched him on film and stuff,
Yes.
But as I started watching him and then had a chance to see him up close, he didn't play a lot against us. I don't know why, but he didn't. Michael played the whole game. I heard on the local radio station here, they were clowning us, my team, Seattle Prep, where I'm assistant coach, and saying, well, they won by 20-something, so I'm sure he didn't play the whole game. That dude fouled out with 1 minute and 32 seconds left to go in the game. So he did play 4 quarters to get that 52.
Right.
He was getting buckets, though. It was quite impressive. Yeah. I was actually sitting on the bench going, man, I got a great seat for this.
Oh, man.
So,
That's
anyway,
funny.
This coming Wednesday, February 8th, at Heck Ed, the Metro League playoffs. American Airlines Arena is what it's labeled now.
Yes.
For those who've been around a while, it's always and always will be Heck Ed.
Heck Ed.
All right, so at American Airlines Arena on the campus of the University of Washington, the Metro League playoffs. Come out and see the Garfield Bulldogs with 2 great high school players in Jalen Noel and Dejon Davis, who are going to the University of Washington, along with Nathan Hales and Michael Porter Jr. And Jonte Porter, who, once he graduates from Nathan Hale, will also be going to the University of Washington.
If he actually does graduate early and go there with those other 3? Wow.
With those other 3, and I understand they've got a great point guard coming in and another 6'9" dude that can shoot the 3 and does well. So folks are hanging around to see what's going to happen with Lorenzo Romar. Will he make it through this crazy season that they're going on? I think they're 9-13 now.
Right. I think he'll survive the season.
Well,
banking on what's going to happen in the future next year. I personally not too crazy about it, but I understand it. I can see it.
Yeah. Well, he's got to be able to coach. They got the 3rd best recruiting class in the country coming in. I don't think the University of Washington is going to fire him. He doesn't think they're going to fire him.
No.
So we're all waiting for next year. On behalf of Renault Pepe Bean, I'm Granville Emerson. Thank you for watching Lidline. No, that's Lidline News. If you watch that, thanks for watching that too. But thank you for listening to Lidline Sports. Join us again next week for more great sports talk radio on Lidline Sports. Sports as we see it from just below our lids.